welcome to HistoricHole. My name is David, and this week I am joined by Sam.
Yo.
And we're going to talk Copernican Revolution. Talk about that whole thing. You know, well, you don't. That's probably why you're listening. Nah. I'm just kidding. I don't claim to know who you are and how ignorant you are of this topic. But anyway, Sam, what do you know about Copernicus?
Oh, I'm a little ignorant, or I'm just kidding. No, I'm just
Ignorant.
You know, I just know about him. You know, about the sun and all that, but not too much about him.
The sun, yeah. Pretty vague, but you know, I guess we're touching on the fact that he changed the model. He changed the paradigm. That's what the Copernican Revolution was. It's named for Nicholas Copernicus, who wrote something. You know, go look it up, whatever you want the specifics. But he put out a paper. He dropped his album. He dropped a freestyle. It was written before 1514. And it was the first explicit presentation of the heliocentric model in Renaissance scholarship.
He dropped some knowledge.
Yeah, the idea of heliocentrism is much older. It can be traced to, you know, a Hellenistic author writing in the 3rd century BC. You know, Aristarchus or something like that. I don't know how to pronounce it. Don't come to me for pronunciation. But he may have been drawing on even older concepts in Pythagoreanism.
Ooh, Pythagorean theorem?
Pythagoreanism.
Oh, Pythagoreanism.
You know.
Pythagoras.
Pythagoreanism originated in the 6th century BC, based on and around the teachings and beliefs held by Pythagoras and his followers, the Pythagoreans.
And he was Greek, right? Or what was he?
Yeah, he was Greek. Pythagoras established the first Pythagorean community in the ancient Greek colony of Croton.
Ooh.
In modern...
Croton?
Crouton. In crouton. It's a Greek salad.
Oh, yeah. That's where they got croutons.
Yeah. They invented them in Croton. And that's also where they make kratom. But it's in modern Italy. You know, it's where they did this. It's where Crouton is in modern Italy.
Wait, so who were the Pythagoreans?
They were the followers of Pythagoras.
The followers.
Yeah.
So his disciples.
Yeah, his squad.
His squad, okay.
Yeah, his crew.
And then so Copernicus got some of what he knows from them.
Well, so what this is saying
there was some influence.
There's some concepts in Pythagoreanism, I guess, that point to heliocentrism. Maybe not explicitly, though. You know what I mean? But like, they're just kind of based. They're like, maybe it's just based on the math.
Yeah.
And they're just like, but something's doesn't add up. But ancient heliocentrism was, however, eclipsed by the geocentric model presented by Ptolemy in the Almagest and accepted in Aristotelianism. Yeah, there's a lot of big fucking words here. I don't even know what I'm saying half the time. So
somebody will know.
So yeah, but this guy, Ptolemy, this Greek dude, he said that shit, and people went with it. They're just like, oh, the geocentric totally makes sense. Earth's the center of the universe. Well, let's just go with that.
Ptolemy said that.
Yeah, Ptolemy.
Before Copernicus? Yeah,
this was the accepted paradigm at the time. Right. All the scientists.
And where did he get that idea from?
All the smart fuckers.
Yeah.
Thought this shit back before. Where did he get that? You're saying? Hey, you're asking me. Where did he get it?
Let's see. That crazy idea.
Well, let's see.
Silly. That silly guy.
I don't know.
He thinks everything revolves around him. Basically, that's what he said.
Planetary hypothesis.
The world revolves around him.
Ptolemy goes beyond the mathematical models. So he's... Oh, fuck, dude.
Well, it's okay. Yeah,
cartography, astrology.
Um,
It's just fuck this guy.
he probably got it from like the more ancient.
I mean, it's
ancient
just
shit, like the more ancient shit, you know. Like the
it's just an egocentric model.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Geocentric, egocentric. But
Mhm.
but like it's just the idea, it's natural to think we're important because we're here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is important.
Right.
You know what I mean? Is everyone's thinking that. And so when people are like, well, maybe it's not, and they're like, shut the fuck up. And they're like, nah.
Yeah.
So-
No, yeah, it's because it's all perspective too, and but so basically Copernicus went against that, right?
Indeed.
And he was like, and were they both alive at the same time, or was this later on?
Later on.
Later on,
Yeah,
okay.
for sure. So let's see. When did Ptolemy live? I think it's like 6th century BC. No. Okay. So Ptolemy lived from 100 to 170 AD. And so Copernicus lived, published his theory in before 1514. So, 1,500 years almost between these two guys.
Damn.
It
It took that long?
Dude, shit takes fucking forever.
Long to realize that shit? Imagine what we're going to realize in fucking 1,000 years.
Well, see, part of it is it starts to speed up as time progresses.
Yeah.
So you start to see shorter and shorter spans between the shifts and paradigms. So back to this though. European scholars were well aware of the problems with Ptolemaic astronomy since the 13th century. So 13th century would be around the what is that? What would that be? 13th century would have been the 1200s then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so 1200s. A lot of people get it confused. Sometimes they think the 13th century means 1300s.
Yeah.
But it's actually because we're in the 21st century, but we're in the 20s,
Mm-hmm.
And then once we hit 19, that was the 20th century.
Right.
And so the 19s were the 20th century.
Yeah.
So, anyway, they knew about this for a while. 300 years before Copernicus published his theory. They're like, yeah, there's something wrong with this. Like this.
Who knew? The people?
European scholars.
Oh, so they
Basically
knew something
everybody.
was off.
Yeah, they knew something was off.
So nobody would just speak up and be like, hey, let's get into this. They didn't really want to change. They probably just didn't want to change it.
Well,
Or
yeah,
they
I mean,
thought, maybe I'm gonna lose my career if I come
Well,
out and say this.
you gotta think. It's like, what do we?
I might get hanged.
What's the alternative? You know what I mean? It's just like, well, you can't. Yeah, like you can poke holes in his theory, but like, what are you proposing we replace it with? You know what I mean? It's like you kind of have to do that work too.
Yeah.
You can't.
And you have to have that evidence too. You have to have that like.
Yeah, something strong that other people can build their work upon.
Yeah.
The state of the question as received by Copernicus. My God. There's just a ton of fucking, you know how Wikipedia is. They just start referencing tons of things, and it's just like, okay, it's not really important to the tip line information. It's like we need here. Like,
So he was before Galileo, right?
yes, he was indeed.
Nice. So Galileo was probably the next one, the next top guy.
So they're basically saying, this whole section is basically saying there's a chance that, like, heliocentrism was like arrived at before Copernicus. All right. I don't know why, I guess, again, people love to debate shit in history. So it's like, if there's any interpretive evidence of like, okay, these potentially, could have been
Who else?
the first guy.
Who does it say? Who does it say it was? Or does it just say like there's a
Regiomontanus.
Who's that?
Some guy. He's a fucking scientist, dude. I don't know.
But like, what does it say? Where's he from or what?
I don't know. give a shit about Regiomontanus.
It sounds like Latin or something.
Johannes Muller von Königsberg Regiomontanus, better known as Regiomontanus. They love their fucking dude. This was his MC name. This was his rap name. Regiomontanus. These motherfuckers love. They had their crews and they had their rap battles.
What?
They're spitting shit at each other. This is basically what it was back then.
The fuck?
Seriously though, he was a mathematician, astrologer, and astronomer of the German Renaissance, active in Vienna, Bruda, and Nuremberg. So Germans are just trying to take it away from Copernicus.
What?
That's all they're trying to do.
Wait, but Copernicus was Polish, right?
He, let's see. What was Copernicus? I thought he was something else. Let's see. He could be right. He might be Polish. He looks kind of Polish.
And Poland is right next to Russia.
Yeah, Royal Prussia, Poland.
Oh yeah.
And then he died in Poland.
Mm.
Yep, Copernicus.
Damn. So then, the Germans are trying to take credit.
Yeah, of course they are. Like they always trying to fuck over Poland.
They're right next to each other. Yeah, they're always fucking with each other up there.
Always fucking over Poland.
Yeah. Russia fucks with Poland.
Invading
Everybody fucks with Poland.
Yeah. The Polacks, they ain't got no respect. They're the Rodney Dangerfields of the European Union.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, but I don't know.
So, anyway, all right, enough with the Polacks. Can we get back on topic? God damn it! Why we gotta go with this? Copernicus studied. It's like, all right.
Yeah.
Can we get to what he said? What did he say? Copernicus went on to develop an explicitly heliocentric model of planetary motion, at first written in his short work, the Commentariolus. I think that's what it said. The Commentariolus, I think is how you pronounce it. I fucking hate these big ass words. They were so pretentious back then. You know what I mean? Commentariolus? Are you kidding me? Dude, just say like the sun.
It's because it's Wikipedia. Might have to go to.
So, is circulated in a limited number of copies among his acquaintances. So he just kind of put it out amongst his friends. He put his mixtape out amongst his friends. Like, guys, tell me what you think. Don't be too harsh. Circulated a little bit, limited release.
Yeah.
1514.
Yeah. What his friends say? They were like, interesting.
So that was 1514. Then he refined his system until publishing his larger work. I'm not even going to... De Revolutionibus Orbium Coelestium.
What? Is that Latin?
I think so.
Dude, that's a dead language, bro.
It's dead. I'm speaking dead language right now.
Nice.
Isn't that crazy?
That's cool.
It's fucking crazy, bro. All right, so... It contained detailed diagrams and tables. He had pictures. It was a picture book. He released a picture book.
Illustrations?
Oh shit, dude! Yeah, the jewel case artwork from this release was just mad crazy.
God.
Went all out for it. Dude.
That's crazy.
It was like a Rob Zombie insert. Yeah. So it took him, though, you got to think, 1514 and then 1543, that's like 30 years between releases. God damn, his fans must have been fucking waiting a long-ass time, you know what I mean? Bro, when's Copernicus going to drop that next fucking... He's like fucking... on that like Kendrick Lamar release schedule.
Wait, it took him how long to release what?
It's 1514 when he released the Commentariolus, and then 1543 when he released De Revolutionibus Orbium Coelestium. I'm not even sure that's how you say it. I probably sound like a fucking
nice
idiot right now, but
so it took him a while.
It
took him a while to do it.
I sacrificed my image for you folks. What?
So it just took him a while to do it.
Took him a while to do. I'd say, what did you... What is that? That's like 20 years. What am I saying? 30 years.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm.
Yeah. Right. Fuck, dude. That's 30 years.
So he came out with the theory.
So he has he refined it.
Yeah.
And the Copernican model makes a claim of describing the physical reality of the cosmos, something which the Ptolemaic model was no longer believed to be able to provide. Copernicus removed Earth from the center of the universe, set the heavenly bodies in rotation around the sun, and introduced Earth's daily rotation on its axis. While Copernicus' work sparked the Copernican Revolution, it did not mark its end. In fact, Copernicus' own system had multiple shortcomings that would have to be amended later by astronomers. Copernicus did not only come up with a theory regarding the nature of the sun in relation to the Earth, but thoroughly worked to debunk some of the minor details within the geocentric theory. So, like, not only did he fucking his fucking diss track to Ptolemy. Not only was it like, just a full out assault against what he stood for, he like got detailed with that shit. He like picked him apart. You know what I mean? He got detailed with this fucking shit.
Damn.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's like some serious diss track level. That's some serious fucking hater. Hater energy, man.
Yeah. He attacked him.
He dissed the fuck out of him.
Yeah. He was like, fuck that.
Ptolemy, Copernicus. One of the all-time greatest disses right there.
Jeez.
He just destroyed. He just completely. Everybody like loved this guy. He was like Drake.
Yeah.
Everybody loved this guy.
Right.
And and fucking Copernicus came in like Kendrick and just destroyed him. Ate him live.
All right.
Damn,
that's crazy. I mean, and he didn't even have a telescope.
Copernicus?
Yeah.
I want to say Copernicus may have had a telescope.
Nah, dude. I heard he didn't.
Maybe he didn't.
I heard he didn't, dude. Look it up.
No, you're right. Yeah, it was made with the naked eye.
Oh, shit.
He died more than 50 years before Galileo became the first person to study.
How the fuck did he do it then? He like used some measurements?
Just fucking looked up. Literally
looked up and was like,
every night was like in the same spot looking up. He had enough fucking visibility of the sky and enough, no light pollution, In his article about heliocentrism as a model, author Owen Gingrich writes that in order to persuade people of the accuracy of his model, Copernicus created a mechanism in order to return the description of celestial motion to a pure combination of circles. Copernicus's theories made a lot of people uncomfortable and somewhat upset. Even with the scrutiny that he faced regarding his conjecture that the universe was not centered around the Earth, he continued to gain support. Other scientists and astrologists even posited that his system allowed a better understanding of astronomy concepts than did the geocentric theory. So a lot of people were just like, no, yeah, this makes more fucking sense. Just like, you know what I mean? On its face. They're like, yeah, no, like this is just seems like...
one of the ways was because he also found that the tilt of the Earth and then that it's spinning.
The axis, yeah.
Yeah.
The rotation.
Like he knew that too.
Yeah.
So I guess he sees, okay, since we're spinning, if the sun stands still, then it makes sense,
Yeah. Yeah. Like, there's certain things, I guess, that he was able to determine, and that's crazy that he was able to do it with the naked eye.
Because is the sun standing still? It is, right? It's like...
Well, everything's moving.
Oh, it's all moving. Yeah, it is all moving through space. Yeah, my bad.
We're all fucking shooting through
space.
I
meant like... I meant the rotation. It also rotates too, right?
Because the sun has by far the most mass out of anything around us, within light years.
Yeah, but it's still probably rotating too.
What's that?
It's probably still rotating too, right?
The sun?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it rotates.
Yeah, everything. Yeah, it's like everything is in motion. Yeah, that's crazy.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't even know like how that, because the sun is also like, I don't know how it because it's more of a ball of plasma, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, but maybe it is a station, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, the stationary ball of plasma. But like, because it's like plasma, it's like, it's maybe a little bit more amorphous than like a planet, like a gas giant even. I don't know. I'm not a fucking astronomer, but like it fascinates me, and I love everything
cool,
about it.
man.
I love that movie Sunshine.
Sunshine?
It's so good.
Yeah.
They go to the sun. It's like the core, but with the sun.
What?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's great.
Crazy. We used to worship the sun.
Yeah. George Carlin had this whole bit about worshiping the sun.
Yeah.
He's like, I worship the sun. It's there. It keeps me warm. It grows food. It's like, okay. All right, chill.
Chill out, dude.
Chill, Carlin. Carlin. He's like, yeah.
Nice, but yeah. Oh, supposedly we're moving like 2 inches from the sun like every year.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's like something like that. Yeah, it's a minuscule amount. It's like nothing noticeable, but
but I mean, it's like one day it will be noticeable. Like
one day, like, well, we're long gone.
Yeah. Well, that's that kind of. I think I don't know. I think I heard something about like that's what happened to Mars. Like Mars back then was back here in the Goldilocks zone, and eventually it got pushed out to where it is now.
Yeah, that's the theory for sure. Yeah.
So then that could eventually happen to Earth, and then supposedly you're able to like live. You have to live underground in the planet basically to survive. Like if it got to that point, I guess.
Oh yeah, because the Earth's core.
Yeah.
It's warm.
Yeah.
There's warmth, like in the the Matrix.
Right. Yeah. We're gonna be down there in what's the place called?
Zion. Let's see.
When the machines take over.
The machines will be hiding from them because they'll be able to survive wherever. You know what I mean? That's the thing. It's like that's what's happening. That's what they're trying to do. That's what all the billionaires and old people are trying to do. Is they're trying to invent. You see all these attempts at it. They're trying to find ways to like upload their consciousness into like a computer. They want to live forever. They don't want to die. So they're trying to find these ways of like slapping God in the face, basically, and like.
I don't think you can do that. Your consciousness, no. Like that's a far. That's. I mean, you can. Bro, you know what the Neuralink thing? The dude that he can move shit with his mind. Like you can do that. Like you can literally think something and like move the cursor and shit.
All right, but like if so, as we get to know the brain more, like as we understand it more and what keeps it, you need obviously.
Well, if you have to transfer the whole brain, then wouldn't you? Or no?
Well, like Futurama.
Yeah.
Well, like kind of. I think you would have to have the whole physical brain. But like it's
not like you can just have like a soul catcher. It's like, oh, I'm gonna get his consciousness.
But what kind of conscious life would that be? Like just trapped in like a computer or something.
Well, that's what you wanted. I mean,
but then you get into sort of Matrix territory where it's like, they could like augment. You know what I mean? You could think, oh, I'm walking around in a reality. I'm walking and talking to you, but really my brain's just in a computer somewhere. You know what I mean? Like in the Matrix, like your body's just plugged into a computer. But in this instance, rather than a whole body, it's just the brain, and you're keeping the brain alive, using, if you find a way to do that, sustain a brain function
so you wouldn't
without a physical body.
So the body wouldn't actually have the brain on them?
I mean, maybe. What if you create an entirely synthetic body except for the brain?
Yeah.
And what if you create a synthetic brain? And that you can transfer the consciousness into? How,
see, that's the thing, man. It's like the transferring of consciousness is like.
How do you do that? That's a big one.
That's a big one.
That's a big one.
I don't know about that.
The Neuralink, though, what if they figure it out?
But then again, consciousness is energy.
But that's what I'm saying. What if they figure it out?
So the energy does transfer. It doesn't get destroyed.
Right?
Energy doesn't die.
That's exactly. And that's why people are always just like, well, yeah. Obviously when you die, you lose something. What happens to that? So it's like, so where does that transfer?
There's always that one atheist that I heard the thing is like, there was that one atheist at the funeral that's like the soul. I mean, his spirit will live on. Yeah. And they actually all of a sudden believe in like oh yeah, his spirit is going somewhere, and they don't believe in God or whatever.
Yeah. I don't necessarily think you have
to
like
death kind of humbles would humble. It's kind of, I think it humbles the atheist sometimes.
I mean, I don't know. Like, atheists are generally, I don't know. They're usually just edgy teenagers. I don't generally meet people that are like professed atheists. Only like online.
Right.
I'll see people that are really hardline about that stuff.
Yeah. But then there's a lot of agnostics that are maybe like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah. But I don't necessarily think you have to believe in God to believe that there's like something in an afterlife. You know what I mean? Like, because like the whole thing is like God's just a word that's tied to a concept in your mind, like whatever.
Oh well, yeah.
Whatever God, it's just 3 letters, like, but those 3 letters are tied to something in your brain that everybody's relationship with is different, and you can define it as God. Some people define it as God, and I think a lot of people try to escape it and be above it, and that's why the atheists try to be all, oh, I'm above it. But like, no, like at the end of the day, you're part of something. We're all part of something,
but I think
we all don't have an answer.
Yeah,
we all don't know the answer, and that's just the fact of the matter. It's like, so people love to claim to have an answer, and so I think that's where atheists come in. It's like, well, if I can't prove it, and there's no evidence, and it's just like, well, yeah, but like, what you're talking about too. It's like when it comes to like religion and spirituality. This is a very subjective thing. That's really based on your experience of the world, how you feel, your emotions, your experiences, good and bad. All load onto your spirituality and like your perspective and ideology. But what science is a different thing. Science is an explanation of physical reality of our world around us that we all can sort of agree on. Like, yeah. This is a concrete thing.
Right.
This is a liquid. This is a gas. They're doing 2 different things. Religion is it's just a different thing. It's meant to describe your relationship with God or with the universe in a subjective way, not in an objective way, which is what science is. Science is concerned with objectivity, not subjectivity. So that's the difference, is where people get caught up in this. It's just like, dude, because they're just 2 different things. Like, you're not even talking about the same stuff, So it's like, that's what I think. You can have both. You can have a scientist has a faith or relationship with God.
Yeah, Copernicus was Catholic, I think.
A lot of scientists are religious. Yeah. It's like they're not doing this to like piss people off. They're following, because what a good scientist does is they just ask the questions. And then it starts back with philosophy and Greek philosophers. They're just asking questions, and
they question everything.
Yeah. You're just asking what does it mean to be?
Yeah.
And they're just the base questions of like philosophy and life and consciousness. Yeah. And from there you build out of, okay, well, let's start asking questions about reality. And then that becomes science. Right? So, and that's what they're all doing at this point. And this is what the Renaissance is. It's like you have the Dark Ages.
Yeah.
Where religion just reigns supreme. There's an established order. Again, its orders often comes in, because what happens is once you have the Renaissance, like these revolutions start happening, it starts destabilizing authority, like religious authority. So, I mean, we can talk about that, what Copernicus went through, the religious persecution.
It's kind of like this. Like what happened here, like in the 50s, 60s, 70s, like we had those little revolution of people, like uprising with, like social stuff,
Oh, you're talking about like in like the civil rights movement?
Yeah, like civil rights and
Vietnam War,
just like
protests.
The wars, yeah, and then.
Like that stuff you're
like that
about?
whole time was kind of like, pretty, there was some sort of revolution going on, in a way.
Yeah, there was definitely a shift from like what you're talking about, kind of a paradigm shift, like from the the white lily, suburban, 50s, clean cut model like family. It's like the 60s, you have all this raucous protests. You got the fucking war. Presidents are getting fucking assassinated.
Yeah.
Fucking, it's like it's like the stable 50s of Eisenhower, post-war boom. Baby boomers are all being born.
Yeah.
And then all those kids start growing, getting older, and then the systems all start getting stressed out, and then you hit the 60s, and it all starts building up, you know? And like you're saying, it's like people start eventually, this is what happens, these cycles, right? You have these cycles of order and chaos, kind of, right? So you have that order in the 50s is met with this sort of chaos in the 60s and sort of bleeds into the 70s. And then 80s, you kind of get order again with Reagan. He kind of established, there was kind of a, I don't want to say, like, there was still plenty of chaos going on then, but there was a bit of establishment of order. But then you hit the 90s and you kind of get, again, more of a... But that's the thing, though. It's like the authority, the governments in this country and stuff, like, after 9/11 became super authoritarian and just backdoor ways that people just are still fucking refusing to...
So what happened in that time?
Actually, Copernicus wasn't actually persecuted. He died shortly after publishing his book, but Galileo was
persecuted.
Yeah.
Oh shit. For what? What?
He was tried by the Inquisition after his book was published. And because he said basically, the Earth revolved around the sun, is why he was tried in the Inquisition.
Galileo.
Galileo, yeah.
So he like confirmed it basically.
Yeah, Galileo was like backing up his boy.
Oh, so he was back. Yeah, he was backing him up.
He was like J. Cole. He was trying to drop one for.
Oh.
Actually, no, it wouldn't be him. It would be whoever the fuck. It would be
so
like,
why didn't Copernicus get?
It's like Metro Boomin.
Why didn't Copernicus get in trouble?
Why didn't Copernicus? Because he died.
Oh, he died young?
Yeah, he just fucking croaked, dude. He like dropped. He was like Tupac. He dropped.
Fuck, no.
He dropped, hit him up, and then died.
No way. For real?
Yeah, Copernicus died, bro.
The fuck? Chill out.
Bro dead. And that's the end of our story. No, I'm kidding. No, we don't have to end it there.
Nice, but
about 35 minutes. We can still keep going. Wait, hold on. Hold on. Yeah, let's talk about Kepler.
Kepler. He's another guy. He's the next in line.
Kind of. We have Tycho Brahe. Tycho Brahe. My boy.
Tycho.
My boy Tycho. Yo, Tycho. What it be? What it do, baby?
Tycho B.
Tycho B. What it do? He was a Danish nobleman.
Ooh.
What the fuck?
Nobleman.
1546 to 1601. So guy was, what was that? That's about, it was fucking 55 years, bro.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't live too long back then. I'm telling you, like they didn't have long lives.
Wow.
It just depended on who you were, but I mean, really most of the time. I mean, you got lucky, maybe you got to like 70, but like it was pretty unheard of for people to go beyond. You know what I mean? Like,
what? Yeah.
Life expectancy, because there's just no modern medicine. You know what I mean? You're just like you're eating whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
You're like, all right, I hope there's no poison or anything gonna kill me in this. So. He was a well-known astronomer in his time. Further advancement in the understanding of the cosmos. This would require new, more accurate observations than those that Copernicus relied on, and Tycho made great strides in this area. Tycho formulated a geoheliocentrism, meaning the sun moved around the Earth while the planets orbited the sun. Weird. Known as the Tychonic system. Although Tycho appreciated the advantages of Copernicus' system, He, like many others, would not accept the movement of the Earth. They're just like, the Earth, we're moving. We're not moving. Are you kidding me? So Tycho was a little bit of a,
skeptic.
Yeah, let's just say, yeah, he was skeptical. Like he was people were just married to that idea of the Earth being like stationary. They're like, no, we're the center of everything. In 1572, Tycho Brahe observed a new star in the constellation Cassiopeia. For 18 months, it shone brightly in the sky with no visible parallax, indicating it was part of the heavenly region of stars, according to Aristotle's model. However, according to that model, no change could take place in the heavens, so Tycho's observations was a major discredit to Aristotle's theories. So he just kind of disproved his boy there, not trying to. So, yeah. He did some shit. So, but let's talk about Kepler a little bit. Because he was assistant to Brahe. And upon Brahe's unexpected death, replaced him as the imperial mathematician of Emperor Rudolf II. He's probably a battlefield promotion here. It's like, guys like, wait, what? I'm the what now? You may be the imperial what? So he was able to use Brahe's extensive observations, let me speak clearly. Observations to make remarkable breakthroughs in astronomy, such as the 3 laws of planetary motion. Kepler would not have been able to produce his laws without observations of Tycho, his boy Tycho. Tycho lives on in his heart because they allow Kepler to prove that planets traveled in ellipses and that the sun does not sit directly in the center of an orbit, but at a focus. Galileo Galilei came after Kepler and developed his own telescope with enough magnification to allow him to study Venus and discover that it has phases like a moon. The discovery of the phases of Venus was one of the more influential reasons for the transition from geocentrism to heliocentrism. Wow. That's crazy, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Sir Isaac Newton's fucking, Latin ass titled book here, I'm not even going to try and pronounce, concluded the Copernican Revolution. The development of his laws of planetary motion and universal gravitation explained the presumed motion related to the heavens by asserting a gravitational force of attraction between 2 objects. So, Isaac Newton, kind of comes in here and is just like the autist that cleans it all up and is just like establishes like, okay, here, this is how all this fucking shit works.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, all right.
Wow.
That works.
Yeah. He was like, yeah, they're on to something. Let me.
No, but people win by that for the longest time until you get to, he was let's see.
So when did the populace actually accept it?
Let's see.
Was it till Newton came around or before?
So it looks like Galileo kind of was really starting the process, and that's why he got all the shit. Tried in the let's see, let's look that up. Galileo persecution. Let's see what goes on there. Galileo church persecution. Responding to mounting controversy over theology, astronomy, and philosophy, the Roman Inquisition tried Galileo in 1633, found him vehemently suspect of heresy, and sentenced him to house arrest, where he remained until his death in 1642.
That's fucked up. Crazy,
right?
Sorry, dude.
That was 9 years he's stuck in a fucking house because he had the courage to fucking...
He was the first conspiracy theorist. No,
but you gotta,
yeah, they always think you're crazy at first. When you come up with something, when you got this new thing coming around,
and people think it makes sense.
They always think you're crazy.
People are like, yeah, that makes a fucking sense.
But until you actually you're really just ahead of the curve.
Yeah, I mean, when did Newton live? He was at the tail end. 1643.
So Isaac.
1643. So, a little bit after these guys died in 1727.
Yeah, that's when we were like, okay.
84 years old.
Damn.
That's pretty old for that.
Wait, 84 then. What? Was when?
84 years old is how old he was when he died.
Oh, okay. So he lived pretty long.
Yeah, for back then, shit, man. I'm surprised.
Yeah, he found the meaning of his life, and now he's just like, yeah.
So, yeah, eventually, Newtonian physics was like the thing until you get to like what do you call it? Quantum physics. Quantum mechanics, and then 1919 is when you have a transition between the worldview of Newtonian gravity and general relativity.
Nice.
Yeah, dude, it's just like everything kind of keeps progressing over time, and these, as you kind of come into new areas of study, right? So it's like, boom, now we have like, okay, a new model. You see how each guy kind of like did a little bit of the legwork to get you further, and then once you get to Newton, he kind of establishes things that are like, okay, nobody can really refute these.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone kind of operates under those assumptions, basically. I want to say assumptions, but under those conclusions from that point on until, the model, the paradigm doesn't make sense anymore based on the new tools that we develop to observe reality. So as you start to get into the 20th century, we start to develop particle accelerators and things where we're, shooting fucking, we're getting on the quantum level.
Hadron Collider?
not quite there yet, but like, they started developing these things.
There's a Hadron Collider, right?
Yeah, the Large Hadron Collider. Yeah. There's particle accelerator.
Oh.
So, what they're it's like that, yeah, but like very early versions of that, because we start to understand things at the atomic level,
physics,
at the quantum level, things advance to that, and so at that point there's things about Newtonian physics that don't make sense anymore when it comes to Einstein and general relativity.
Because Newton was studying atoms and stuff like that too, right? Or like no, or just I
don't think so. I don't know.
Just space, just like
he's more of a physicist, but like he's also a lot of it's tied to planetary move. You know what I mean? That's where a lot of laws of motion.
Yeah, but quantum is also like in atomic level, right? Like
quantum means
quantum level. Yeah.
Quantum means atomic and below.
Yeah.
So like,
so he was studying all that too. Quantum, or no?
Let's see. He was like alchemy. Like I don't know if he was doing quantum stuff.
Oh,
he was that came about, and then like.
Oh, so you were just adding on the.
Yeah, that like we're talking the that comes in like the 19th century, 1900s, early 1900s.
Oh, damn.
So yeah, 1919 there's a transition between Newtonian gravity that says every particle attracts every other particle in the universe. In the universe with a force that is proportional to the product of their masses, inversely proportional to the square of the distance, blah 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 blah. And then the general relativity theory of Einstein, which is the whole thing about distance and time and traveling. So like Einstein was fucking brilliant, like how he came up with it. How do you figure that out? But see, again, it's like you're standing there. He's standing on the shoulders of giants, right? Like you see further standing on the shoulders of giants. So that's that saying means is like if you go and do the work to study what all these people before you have done within this field, you see further. standing on those shoulders, like,
right.
of these great scientists.
Right.
Right. So not to be so explicit with the explanation of the saying.
Yeah.
But so, it is a true saying, like, because like if you want to really understand this stuff, you really want to understand the field, like you kind of have to go back and see how people built upon each other. And because if you hope to do that, if you hope to build upon it yourself, you have to go back and understand that. So I think sometimes when people come in with their like kind of crazy like ancient aliens theories or some of that stuff, it's like they're, you know what I mean? It's just ignoring a lot of the kind of established knowledge on the topic. And not always, I'm not saying it always does, but I think in some of those cases, it's like people do that for entertainment.
But it's also the theory, that if you believe that we're only rediscovering things, not discovering. Basically, we're rediscovering things instead of just discovering. That's the ancient alien theory. It's like oh, we knew this before, or there was people here that knew this shit before, and we're only just trying to start figuring it out again. That's the I guess that's their argument, right?
Yeah, and I mean,
Yeah, but I mean, it's a different concept too, because we're on our science is based on our reality and like our like we don't exactly know what people back then knew, so
yeah, I mean, well, again, we can only go by what we have.
Yeah.
You can speculate all you want, what I mean, like, and some that can be fun. Again, there's entertainment to it, like.
But it's just it's hard because you have to go back in time. You have to go back in time, but like
you can't be taken. Again, like it's hard for serious people. You know what I mean? Like if you do this, you know what I mean. If you've spent your life studying in a field and some guy comes in and then just is kind of like talking shit, you know what I mean, and saying stuff, you're like, okay, you clearly have no fucking idea what you're talking about. It can be fun, it can be entertaining, but it's just like, it's not really actually based on anything with, now.
It has to be based on something.
If you base it on, they have, what I mean, if you're challenging specific things like within a field and offering alternative theories, like that's a lot better.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And I hear that dude a lot.
You heard him before?
Yeah, he's like in a Mustang or something. I don't know.
Oh, it's a Mustang? It sounded like a bike.
Could be a bike, but there is a Mustang that fucking pulls out of this fucking, over here. Flies up because it's a fucking long ass street. So they just like open her up. They're like, like,
no, but fucking. Did you know that they recently discovered or like quantum entanglement? Have you heard about that? Quantum entanglement.
I mean, enlighten me.
There's a patent. Like, they came out a patent. They came out with a patent like 2 years ago.
Quantum entanglement.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know too much about it, but
what does it mean?
It just means like
what does it all mean?
Like, there's a connection between like distances. Like there's a way to, like if you fold a piece of paper, like it's
Oh, the thing from fucking
and then you just go straight
every
through.
Sci-fi movie ever where they fold the paper and they stick the pencil through it.
Yeah, basically that. Like there's a way to there's some way you can make a connection, or like is a way to tap into that connection quantumly, like from here to somewhere, which is, I don't know, but you gotta understand physics. But yeah, I mean,
you gotta be a scientist.
I'm not a physicist.
Bro.
I'm not a physicist, but yeah, I heard that shit's real. Like they came out with a patent, so it's like it's changing physics. Like it's just.
Well, yeah, it's like,
it's evolving it. Yeah, it's just like.
Have you seen Oppenheimer?
Yeah.
So like in that, they're using the particle accelerator, like, you know what I mean? Like it's all, and they use that to figure out that they can fucking create fission.
Mm.
They're in which, according to the theory, I guess their mathematics couldn't work, but then they fucking realized that, experimentation, you find out stuff that you're not considering. And so they figure it out. And so once they do that, they're like, oh shit, people, you can make a bomb out of this. And so that's where the whole thing goes from there into the whole, making of the fucking bomb. But you see how, like, again, they build upon that. Now we have these particle accelerators, these huge ones that are doing all this crazy shit. Who knows what they're gonna fucking learn, from doing this stuff, because again, they're all just building upon each other.
Yeah, I don't even know if it's actually doing anything, like, because you're pretty much just crashing two atoms together.
Yeah, you're smashing particles.
You're just smashing
together,
like living things
at like fucking high speed though. Like,
yeah, but it's like not cool. It's like just too. Sounds bad. It sounds like we're not doing a good thing by doing that. Like,
it should be pretty harmless.
But I mean, I know, I get their atoms and all that stuff, but if, like, in a quantum level, they're alive.
We're killing Kang. Every time we smash the atoms. Yeah, no, dude. I think it's like
as above, so below. It's like if we would crash two planets together to see what happens.
Yeah. I that's true. Or
something big, I guess. But yeah. But I don't know.
I guess it depends. We're unaware of this. the people living on the atoms.
But yeah, then they say, oh yeah, they're trying to open up a portal, or like
a portal to hell. Yeah. Trying to bring the demons.
Yeah.
From Epstein's Island. They're trying to portal to Epstein's Island.
Yeah.
The right-wing conspiracies are so crazy. Dude, I'm sorry, man. Some of them are just way too crazy. No, don't get me wrong. Epstein had an island. I'm not saying he didn't have an island. Epstein totally had the island. There's tons of celebrities on the island. Not disputing that at all. But there's also some crazy shit out there, though, where they're just like, there's technology that they have, but we don't it's just like, yeah, okay. Who?
Yeah.
You take I don't know, go open fucking Twitter and take your fucking pick. I mean, there's a million of them.
What do you mean? Like, who? Wait, what technology?
Oh, well, that's the thing. It's just like a lot of them are just saying shit like that.
But who had it? Like, who
the government.
Oh, the government.
Yeah. Oh. And it's like the easiest thing to say in the world. It's like, they have technology. We don't understand. It's like, well, no shit.
So do you think they have advanced technology?
Of course they do. Like,
yeah.
But like, it's like, it's not like you're gonna sit there and just say that like it's a fucking revelation. Like,
yeah, but we're getting close to disclosure, bro.
I mean,
have you heard of disclosure?
What's a disclosure?
Like, disclosure is like when they're gonna start coming out with like the evidence and like the whistleblowers and shit.
It's all about to drop. Is it all about to drop?
I mean, it's
always about to drop.
I've heard,
dude. It's what these fucking things are. They're always about to drop, and they never do. They're always fucking.
No, but there's this one guy that's behind it. There's one guy that's behind it.
This is this one guy.
Yeah. No, yeah, he's been doing it for years though.
This is one guy. Yeah.
No,
dude, there's been. Don't get me wrong. There are whistleblowers, but like guys like Edward Snowden, like like I'll believe those guys that stick their fucking necks out there, and he's a legitimate. He worked for the NSA. He was an NSA contractor. He took the info. He fled to China and gave or Hong Kong and gave the info to journalists.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, so you don't think there's people out there that worked and worked on those things and all that stuff, and are out there like a bunch of people, that know stuff. Right,
they know things.
Yeah, because I mean, they had to have hired.
There's obviously people that out there that know things, but it's what I'm saying is like, again, similar to with stuff with like historical conspiracy theories. Like, you can speculate about a lot of this. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and a lot of these people just use that.
Yeah.
To fucking scare people and like, you know what I mean? Because it's like, at the end of the day, what are you like, probably fucking middle-aged dad, like, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Like, the government, you know what I mean? It's like, you got shit to worry about. Like, you're not fucking gonna be out there like marching like on Washington with like a fucking rifle.
But there's
like, get the fuck out of here.
There's this one guy though that has dedicated like his whole life to trying to get this out.
I'm not, I don't know who it is, but like, there's tons of people though that do that, that play this game though. You know what I'm saying? Like,
No, well, obviously there's a lot.
They're like always like, I'm on the search, I'm on the hunt for the fucking truth, and it's just like they're like grifters in a lot of cases because they get people to invest in like, subscribe to my Patreon or like buy my Substack or
No, but yeah,
buy my OnlyFans.
This guy's this old dude. His name is Dr. Greer. Dr. Greer.
An old dude, Dr. Greer.
Yeah, he's.
What's he doing? What's he?
He does a lot of stuff, dude. He has a lot of background in it, and obviously I think he started off something with the military, and then like eventually just came out of it and like dedicated his whole life to trying to like bring shit out, secret shit out,
Bring the truth to light.
He's old, like he's.
No, I get you. But, I mean, I'm all about bringing the truth to light. But, like, again, like, a lot of the times I'm telling you because I like it. I'm invested in finding out what the truth is. And a lot of the times, I was saying, I go to these guys and, like, there's just a lot of promises about things that are coming. And a lot of times they just never deliver. It's always like, oh, it's about to drop, we're about to get them. It's going to blow the lid off the whole fucking, the whole thing is going, it's like, no, it's not. Like, he's been saying this for like fucking 20 years, bro. It's like not going down. The people are getting away with it for like 20 years. Like,
I mean, it's just, but
I'm sorry. I'm not saying this in with your guy, but like that's just for me. Anytime like I've gone down these paths, like it's always been shit like that.
No, but I get it because it's fucking. It's like it's like so much fake shit out there, and it's like so much like fear into it, and like conspiracies, and in the religious perspective or whatever, like.
That's a big.
So it's like it's a very controversial, but I mean,
that's a big component of it is religion. I think is like people are like they get so it's like almost become kind of like so there's like a few things that like some religious people will like use and be like, all right, well like that just means like it poisons like the whole well of science, so I'm just gonna believe some crazy ass shit like like this fundamentalist Christianity shit, like it's like Earth is 6,000 years old. Flat Earth, you know what I mean? They've been lying to us about everything. It's just like this whole thing. It's like, nah. Actually, there's like people fought really hard. People were locked up for trying to figure this shit out. Like Galileo fucking rolling over in his grave, and these motherfuckers like flat Earth. He's like, God damn it. It's like we knew it wasn't flat back then. Like,
yeah, I know. It's not like they. Yeah, I mean,
they fucking knew it wasn't flat. Like,
like
motherfuckers that floated, on boats had to like understand how to navigate. They knew it wasn't flat. Like you simply
but dude, flat Earth is like a psyop, bro. It's a psyop
to make people fucking stupid, isn't it? Like,
basically like like go against the what really going on and like make people think like oh shit, maybe space is fake or like to
like to undo like basically all of the work that
discredit and all that and and
valid
or just make a certain amount of people like dumb them down like so they don't like think outside the box or they're like so they don't like
you put them
improve like mentally because they're like oh shit like if I'm in a flat Earth, then
you put them in another box. You know what I mean? It's just like you make them think that they're thinking outside of the box, but they've really been put in a different box.
Yeah, bro.
It's just like, don't get me wrong. Like there are people that get too fucking invested in like the mainstream opinion about everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm not like that. Like I'm not saying that every conspiracy theory is false or every historical conspiracy theory is fucking bad. I'm just saying there's a lot of people that are always making promises in those areas that don't deliver, and that sort of just becomes their thing.
See, because I feel like
that's sketchy, and there's a lot of bad faith people in the space. That's all I'm kind of saying.
Yeah,
but like
some people put in bad conspiracies to fuck up a good conspiracy or something. Like,
well,
like,
right,
you
like
know?
yeah, like they kind of
like,
yeah, they take it to such an extreme, like because like there's components like about certain theories that load on to that, then the flat earthers kind of like adopt and make part of their bullshit. That you're just like this.
They like making people go down the rabbit hole and just get lost and like fucking.
Well, yeah, it's just kind of well, we talk about like the CIA, like you're saying a psyop, like CIA loves psyops, and like their whole thing is obfuscation, and so that's like that makes sense. Like they just want the American public confused and arguing about like flat Earth,
right?
You know what I mean? They'd rather have us arguing about flat Earth than like why do the billionaires get so many tax breaks, or like why do like
why can't I afford this? Or
why is the labor? Why is there such an imbalance between like the labor and like the wealth and like all this shit? Why aren't you asking questions about that?
Because I did see one picture about the boots that Buzz Aldrin wore.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a picture of them, but like it just like kind of flat, and then in the picture of the moon it has the little stripes.
Oh, okay.
And so they were like, oh, it's not, we never went to the moon because it's like the boot's different, but it's like they don't know that there's a overshoe that you put onto that looks like those ridges on the moon.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
like you had
to
wear an overshoe on top of those.
Yeah.
So then, but it's like that kind of stuff. It's like they put it out there and they make people think, holy shit.
Oh yeah, it's like we never went to the moon.
We must have never went.
Yeah, and it's just like I don't know, man. Like
I'm like, this is all a damn lie.
It's just like they have
everything's a lie.
Yeah. It's just like, but they have fucking rocks. I mean, it's like they're like the rocks are fake. I'm like, how? Like what? On what grounds? Like you have the basic? Like again, like.
Yeah.
I'm kind of trusting the people that just have these fucking weird ass rocks that are like they're moon rocks. I'm like, I fucking believe you. They look like they're from the moon. And then you see pictures of the rocks on the moon. I'm like, yeah, that looks like the rock in the picture. Like, I'm sorry, maybe I'm stupid.
Yeah.
Like maybe I'm just like they're getting me hook, line, and sinker with it.
Right.
But you know what? I'm just a sap. I love the moon. I'm sorry, man. Like the idea that.
Wait, you love the moon?
Yeah, they're going to the moon, like the whole space race, like all that shit is so fucking cool.
Would you go to the moon?
I don't know if maybe if it was like a touristy, like easy,
like a vacation.
Like I can just wheel my fucking lazy fat ass onto a plane. Like, I'm going on vacation. Yeah. I'd go like that. But like if it was like going like back in the fucking 60s, nah, dude.
Oh, hell no. Nah, dude, but one day, bro.
It's crazy.
You have a little spaceport rotating the moon and like have a restaurant and shit in there or something.
Kennedy made the promise, man, and then he got shot and didn't even get to see it to fruition, but we did it. We got because that's what he said, before the decade is out in his speech. Can't remember when he made the speech, but it was like in 61 maybe.
He didn't see the moon landing?
No.
Oh, but he knew about it?
Well, so that was his idea.
Oh, it was his idea?
Yeah, he said the United States will put a man on the moon before the decade is out. He says in a speech in 1961 or something.
So was he working with all those dudes from NASA and like Werner von Braun and all them? Was he around that time too?
Well, so I mean, yeah, like I think NASA was in existence at that point.
Or maybe it was early NASA.
See,
early
fucking NASA. When did you come into existence?
All right, yeah, I'd be asking too many questions.
You're just like, when did it happen? July 29th, 1958, but founded by Eisenhower. So it was before Kennedy. NASA was in existence before Kennedy. And so,
so maybe it was after.
We were in this race with the Russians. You know what I mean? It was the whole thing. It was. People were like, "Oh, it was propaganda. When you Russia, it was propaganda." No, I mean, we legit had gripes with those Ruskies.
Yeah.
And like, cause they put the first man in space, Yuri Gagarin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But the U.S. put the first man in orbit with John Glenn.
They said that the moon is hollow.
That's hollow moon theory.
Because supposedly they threw like the other piece of the rocket at it, or not throw it, but like dropped it when they left. It was like a test.
Actually, he was the first American in orbit. I think they may have beat us to orbit too. Sorry. Who's the first man in orbit? Sorry. What were you saying? I didn't mean to.
No, that's cool. So they dropped something and then to test it out, and like it landed on the moon, and then supposedly they heard like they heard the moon kind of like ring. Like a bell, yeah, like yeah, like there was some sort of ring that came out of it, some sort of sound, and like, so then we're like, what the fuck? Like, why is it ringing? Like they dropped a part of the rocket, basically.
That's funny. The hollow moon theory. Yeah, have you heard the theory that the moon is actually a piece of the Earth?
Well, it came from Earth?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that we've always kind of thought that, didn't we? Like it just came out of Earth?
Well, like, it was like the Earth was like a larger body at one point.
Yeah.
But then, like,
that's always been the idea, no? Or no?
It's a pretty popular one. It may be the prevailing theory.
I thought I heard that in school. Like,
yeah, I mean, it's a pretty popular theory because logically it makes sense, right? Like, big Earth was at one point a larger planet. We have like there's something collides into it, you know, pretty traumatic event, and a big chunk comes off.
Yeah.
And then over time, everything kind of smooths out because of how gravitation works and everything. So then, because people point out, like, what's weird about our moon is its size in relation to Earth. Like, other planets' moons are usually like a lot smaller. Yeah. You know, and our moon also like affects like our tides, you know, we feel gravitational forces from it.
Yes, there's the other theory about like it could have been created in a way.
Created.
Like made so we could kind of have Earth.
Well, isn't it weird how
basically something set it up so we can just.
Well, isn't it also weird that like everything almost is like so kind of in balance like that? Yeah. Like, you know, we're in the perfect distance from the sun. The moon is like affects the tides and like, you know, all these ways, and like there's certain things like without the tidal movement, like Earth would like you'd have like fucking all sorts of issues with like the Earth with like fucking weather, and it keeps all sorts of things in balance with our ecosystem. Yeah. Like there's something so.
Well, that's also what they say about the God code theory, or like the God is like, oh yeah, like this is why God did this, because if you move something a centimeter off,
right,
it wouldn't work.
Yeah, exactly.
Like none of this would have worked. Like this reality or whatever, the planets, how they're actually. You know,
for everything to happen, for human beings to come into existence, simply for the Earth to come into, for the conditions to be right for life to even happen.
For life,
life to even happen. One, and then from life, you eventually evolve into intelligent beings that can formulate and think and come up with theories and then understand the world around them. Like, fuck.
Well, yeah, that obviously is like, so there's a creator, but I mean.
So, but like, what is that? Yeah.
But then there's also, there could be also.
Is it random or is it?
But there could also be creators in the creation.
Well, what is the chances of that all happening randomly? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think like that's so.
What I'm
crazy.
saying, like, do you think somebody, if we ever become advanced enough, like we could make planets?
Sure. I mean, advanced enough. I mean, you could make anything, right? You think like you extrapolate just from like what we do now, you know what I mean? Like, like we're talking about, like if we fucking find ways to like live for like extend our lives beyond what they're supposed to be, you know what I mean? Then, and we don't need to rely on our physical, on organic bodies that can get old and die. Like if we can come up with like machine bodies to house our consciousnesses, then we can persist for fucking ever and then continue to evolve and build on that. And then now you think about with the AI and shit, then it's like, oh god, like then it becomes like about processing power and like fuck.
Yeah, but I think I think AI could be either good or bad. So it's like we have to do what we have to do to make sure it's a good thing. You know, that it's freeing us instead of enslaving us.
Well, see, I think with a lot of stuff, like it's, you know, people kind of, right, we have kind of this idea about AI being this separate thing from us. Whereas like I feel like we may see eventually, because you're talking about the Neuralink, like what if you like integrate your human intelligence with a computer, and you basically can like you're like adding like RAM chips to your fucking brain. Like you're adding, like what would that be like? Because to me the biggest issue with AI currently is the lack of human component that makes it sort of unreliable in that sense, because it's like you still even if it speaks with authority, I'm still going to look up what the fucking AI is saying to verify that it's getting it right, because there's plenty of instances of these things getting shit wrong and generating all sorts of weird fucking things.
What, AI?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh shit. Yeah, I mean, I think there has to be some sort of human revolution, where like we say like we're gonna make humans better instead of a machine. Like we gotta find ways to make us better, live maybe longer,
but see,
like
the billionaires
be healthier.
The billionaires want to do that because they have all this fucking money and they all want to live. They want to live forever. They don't want to die. They're all afraid of death.
But we gotta think obviously in the grand scale. Like we need a human civilization that's strong enough and good enough to where we don't have to worry about having these robots and all this stuff. Like a society that's like, that's perfect, I guess, or just like more united,
Perfect. You're sounding a little utopian over here, Sam.
Yeah, that's true.
Commie. I'm kidding. No, but like the.
But there could be like a golden age, maybe, of humans.
It just, what I think technology. The idea is, technology should enable humanity to to remove our struggles, like our basic struggles, right? For like food, water, like we've largely in modernized society removed those needs, right? So we've modernized. So like food is plentiful, water is available, toilets are accessible. It's like your basic needs are basically met, right? So now I can focus on some more complex things. Now, outside of first world countries and like really impoverished countries, that's still concerns for people, right? So the idea is technology should enable more people access to the basic needs, right? Like that should help make things more widespread. You find ways to make resources more abundant so that people can get the things that they need. Yeah. That's the idea, right? Is the technology should enable us to do on the I guess if you want to look at it from the like philanthropy side sort of thing. But like even still, I feel like that if you have more people focusing on the complex issues rather than basic needs, then that it's more people contributing to the overall intelligence, you know what I mean? Or not. Like you look at now, people are like just become mindless consumers of stuff. So it's like maybe there's that. Like you don't want people to just become mindless consumers, but
right.
And more consumers though is good for companies, so maybe they should want that. I don't know, but that's what I'm saying. It's like people like technology really should enable us to serve more people, and a lot of the times like it's just pushed to serve a few people. And so that's what I'm afraid of is like billionaires, they're not going to like try to do stuff that's going to help most people. They're going to do stuff that's going to help them live longer. You know what I mean? Help them stick around. It's like, oh, fuck yeah. Like we need Mark Zuckerberg.
Unless it falls. Unless the country falls. Like Rome.
It's really hard to think that it's going to happen.
You don't think the U.S. one day will fall?
There's just there's just too much invested here.
All civilizations have fallen, though. All civilizations have fallen.
I'm not saying we won't, but like what I'm saying is just like it's
history.
History is like we're in a post-nuclear world now, so it's like it's very different. Like nations don't fall like they used to. You know what I mean?
But it takes years. I mean,
it would, but like it would be. It would not be what we've seen in history, though. Yeah. You know what I mean? It wouldn't be like because of a lot of the times those are precipitated by like wars. And like, people are you're actively fighting like wars and like people, and eventually you just kind of run out of resources.
Yeah.
And people wills become strained. Now, it's different now. In a post-nuclear world, you're not going to have like wars like that. You're not going to have like kind of so. It could at any moment, or things could erupt into like a hot war between China and Russia. But again, so many people, billionaires within China, Russia, and the United States have so much wealth invested in this country.
Yeah.
They're going to fight tooth and nail. They have an influence. You don't think they have influence over the politicians and decision makers in their home countries to make sure that things stay just tense enough that everybody gets paid and nobody's fucking losing their entire, having all of their wealth seized by a government or something in some fucking wartime fucking, craziness. Because I'm sure that was shit like that would start to happen. You know what I mean? Like if you had some conflict erupt between like China and the U.S., some serious, which is a concern. I think people are concerned about that.
What would happen? The politicians would.
What are you saying?
You said what? What would happen? Like the politicians would take their money taken away, or who's the money?
Okay, so like billionaires, like depending on where your assets are, like and where you're located, you know what I mean? Like there's Chinese billionaires that have fucking property and assets in the U.S.
Oh,
There's U.S. billionaires that have that property and assets in China. In Russia and other places. They have their money all over the fucking place because you diversify your assets because if one fucking country goes under, you have stuff.
No, that's why I don't think there won't be a nuclear war. Like, I think that we're far from that. Like,
oh, yeah. Well, again, yeah, for sure. Unless you have, like, again, someone real crazy kind of like that isn't kind of respecting that,
but even then, it's like, I don't know. It's still very...
It's very unlikely.
The idea of us doing this again is like very unlikely.
Oh yeah,
I think.
Well, it's with the deterrence, you know what I mean. With all the countries have nukes, like if somebody lets one off the chain, it's like it's done for. Like like the show's over. Yeah. So that's why nobody really does it. It's just deterrence. You know what I mean? We're in a state of nuclear deterrence. Through everyone having them.
Yeah. Because eventually we can turn that nuclear energy to good, like use it for good, like not turning into a bomb, but use it to more of a way to.
Well, yeah, we do use nuclear power, and there are advances in nuclear power. It's just nuclear power has gotten a lot of bad press.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like green energy has become like sort of the whole thing, like that people focus on. But green energy is like super inefficient. And that's the whole thing with it. It's like, don't get me wrong, like you make it more and more efficient, like that's great. And like it is always getting more and more efficient over time as tech gets better. But nuclear power is like really, really, it produces a lot of output. Like you get a lot from nuclear power. And from the little amount of resources. Like you don't have to use a ton of uranium for it. But the type, I'm pretty sure they use different types of uranium. So they enrich uranium to certain levels.
Fossil fuels?
What?
Do they use fossil fuels?
For what?
For nuclear?
No, that's a different type of fuel. So fossil fuel, that's like oil or like...
That's for oil,
like natural gas.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a different type of energy source. So what you use for nuclear is uranium. And uranium, you enrich to a certain level. And for nuclear reactors, it's enriched to a certain level. Specific for reactors, like uranium for bombs, like for a nuclear or for an atomic bomb is enriched to, I think, uranium 235 or something like that, or 325 or something. I don't know. Let's see. Uranium 235. Yeah, I think it's uranium 235. So that's the one that they use for bombs. So they enrich it to this level, and then that's placed inside of the atomic weapon. And and that has just a level, I guess, of volatility for a bomb. So, but they use it like depending on what nuclear reactors are different. So, anyway, point being, then if we embrace that, and it's a very efficient energy source. That's the thing about it. Super efficient. People question, like with the Simpsons and stuff, you have the three-eyed fish and like things like that in pop culture really soured people on nuclear energy. But it's actually a really efficient and a lot of like a few downsides. Now, like outside of like you got Chernobyl, right? So that was the reactor. You have some of these disasters, but this is fucking Soviet Russia. This is the Soviet Union. I don't know if it's Russia actually. I can't remember. Was it Ukraine? It was Soviet. It was Ukraine. I'm pretty sure. Chernobyl was Ukraine.
Might be.
Chernobyl drama miniseries. Hold on.
I think it's a part of Russia. It's like or it's near Russia, but it's like a part.
It's a city in Ukraine. It says.
Oh well, yeah, but Ukraine's next to Russia.
Yeah, it's right next to Russia. It was part of the USSR. Yeah. So Soviet Union. So it was in the Soviet Union, and
yeah,
and so it's hard to and there's been a few, there you have 3 Mile Island. Like there's been a few nuclear disasters that, again, like these kind of soured people on, and don't get me wrong, it's just, it's one of those things. It's like when it goes bad, it like goes bad.
Yeah.
So it's like you can't have accidents with it. But the new reactors and everything that they come up with has been super safe. And so it's like one of those things where it's like, if you can get like a really, like you can develop a fusion reactor, that you can basically make like almost like energy, like, I don't want to say infinite, but you know what I mean? It's just like inexpensive, like really inexpensive. Like if energy is essentially just like, it's just free.
Yeah.
Because if you start that fusion reaction, like it just keeps going.
Right.
It's a self-sustaining reaction.
Right.
Which I don't think they've really quite figured that out yet. So,
unless we try to grab energy from the quantum level.
Quantum energy.
Yeah.
Well, that's what they're doing. I mean, that's what this is.
Yeah.
That's what it is quantum energy.
Oh yeah.
Just
there's an infinite power, infinite energy that we can have.
Yeah, if you can figure out, if you can
tap into it,
sustain fusion reaction, like,
yeah,
dude, like that's just gonna produce power. Yeah. So again, like this, and two, if everyone has power, right? Like we have just like unlimited power. Everybody has unlimited power. Like that's again resources that people then don't need to focus on. It's again like science should really enable people to like live.
I mean, it's the less resources that we need.
Yeah, less resources that we need to like mine or like, and people are like, well, it'll fuck up parts of the economy. It's like, who cares? Like it's like, dude, it's like what will that enable us to do? You know what I mean? As humans, like if we don't have to focus on like acquiring,
we'll just reform the economy, like.
Yeah, like we'll figure it out.
Take all that shit out and just fucking.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's like it's a lot of big companies and shit, so that's the problem.
Think of all the infrastructure that we have devoted
like
to
trillion-dollar fucking
pumping oil
companies,
and
so it's
all
like,
that stuff, and
if
you fucking just undercut everybody's costs, like if you make energy essentially fucking cheap and inexpensive.
That's what I'm saying. There would have to be some sort of.
You put them all out of business.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's what, again, like you're talking about, like you need like kind of like a revolution. I don't think a revolutions are going to be in the way that we typically think about them, like armed, like overthrowing people. But like, there's going to be some. We're going to see some technological revolutions in our lifetime. More likely than not.
Yeah.
Assuming.
Yeah, but I think the more that the more we can come out with more technology, the more it's going to be undeniable to try to accept that new way of technology, like if somehow they do come up with the new technology and stuff, they open source it to people and then everybody starts messing with it, and so there's no way they can stop it, like, because everybody now all these scientists have it now, so it's like you have to just make way for that, to that growing, or either adapt to it or just because they might be able to adapt to it. They might be able to switch it up and be like, okay, we're switching from this to this, and they might be smart about it, where they kind of don't want to go under, so they'll like.
Yeah, they're already playing games like that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. There are already tons of things that they're doing to like try and like.
Yeah, because they got to get ahead of it somehow. Because if
Well, yeah, I think that's what they're seeing. Like, it's like it's science and technology advancements can really disrupt big parts of the economy, and I think that's a big concern of people not pursuing certain things, that could potentially do that.
Right.
Again, because the billionaires only concerned with their bottom line. So
right.
A lot of them, they're not gonna fucking disrupt the economy that much. So it's like they'll, like you're saying, like undercut and maybe damage research into certain areas that could potentially do that, right? Mm-hmm. And then use the kind of fear mongering to be like, oh well, like like this could totally like upend things, and like it's just like no, like maybe that's what's needed. Like you see a lot of people are fucking stressed right now. Like things are getting really stressed, and you see like with inflation and the way the economy stuff moves, it's like people get fucking stressed out, man. You see like credit card debt is like at all-time highs and like all this stuff. It's like this is not sustainable. There's a lot of people making money right now, a lot of wealthy people making money, but there's a lot of people that are fucking stressed, man. And it's like you need to take some of that pressure off.
Yeah.
And so like if something like that were to happen where it's like all of a sudden like like energy's nearly fucking free or something like that, where it's like a huge cost of everyone's bills each month is just completely removed.
Yep.
All of a sudden like we frees up people to do other shit, what I mean?
For sure.
Anyway, we're just fucking rambling now. Copernicus is dead. Damn, we've been about an hour and a half. God damn.
Nice.
God damn. All right. Well, let's wrap it. Let's wrap this shit up.
Let's wrap it up.
If you enjoyed it, give us 5 stars on iTunes. If you started the episode, you noticed the sun went down. Fucking.
Wow.
We went from day to night. This is how long we fucking.
Day and night.
That's how long this shit's been going on.
Jeez.
Day to night. All right. So if you enjoyed it, go to iTunes, give 5 stars. Give us a like on YouTube. Comment. You can leave us whatever comments you like. I'll be your therapist. Just unload your bullshit. I don't know. Sam, you want to say anything?
No. See you in the next one.
Yeah. And we'll do that shit. Follow Instagram, Twitter, X, whatever the fuck it's called.
Follow my IG.
I call it Twitter still. Maybe I'm weird. But people are like, call it X. It's like X now. I'm like, it's like, no, it's not. You can go fuck yourself, is what it is. All right. Thank you for listening. Have a good one.